I don't know how to start this review.
By hustling the audience.
Ah. You're cutting your way out of it, bro. You're cutting your way out of it. Anyway, hey everyone, welcome to the spoiler review for American Hustle, the Off the Chest podcast. I'm your co-host Rakesh, the co-host Melvin.
Sup?
There you go. And like I said, today we're doing American Hustle. That's it, directed by David O. Russell. And you're hearing David O. Russell and you're thinking, who's this guy? What's this guy done before?
Done a shitload of stuff.
He done a shitload, but like the two biggest things you know him from of recent time is The Fighter and Silver Linings Playbook, which were both fantastic films. And you're thinking, is he going to go 3 for 3? We'll find out. Listen to this entire review. Find out. There you go. Now this stars Christian Bale, Amy Adams, Bradley Cooper, Jennifer Lawrence, funny guy,
Louis C.K.
Louis C.K. He's hilarious.
And Bobby De Niro.
Bobby D. He's a special guest in a cameo, I would say. It's more like a cameo role he has in this.
It seems like it, but I'm not, I can't say definitively it's a cameo. Because he has a slight backstory part to it.
He does. He plays an integral part in this film.
Yeah.
And like I did say, this is a spoiler review, so don't go bitching people. Anyway, I'll quickly get through the synopsis and then we'll go on to the film. So American Hustle is a con film, kind of an Ocean's 11 vibe type film about a man named Irving, played by said person, Christian Bale, who has a seductive British con person with him as well, played by Amy Adams. Her real name is Sydney. I forget the fake name that she puts on for it.
Lady...
Yeah, Lady some.
Lady something. Well,
Yeah.
lady.
Yeah, she's a lady.
She
Hello.
pretends to be English.
British. I don't think there's anything sexy about being British, but oh well.
She doesn't play poor British, so that's why.
Yeah.
Upper class British.
She upper class. But her real name is Sydney in this. Then, so those two are con artists, and it's the gradual story about the progression of them guys building and developing this con, and that they maintain it to a certain level. It's not going too high up, and they're not at the lower end, so that they've kind of established. You see a progression in the first 20 minutes of the film, like how they're building each other up and like how their hustles at a point where they're comfortable with it. Along comes a FBI guy, played by Bradley Cooper. He plays Richie, and his director, Louis C.K., plays Stoddard. Sorry, guys, I'm not really too in with it. Anyway, they have the idea. The FBI says to Christian Bale and Amy Adams, like, look, we'll let you guys off the hook if you help us hook, line, and sinker a few big cats.
5 big cats.
5 big guys. And as it goes, Bradley Cooper gets drunk with too much power in 2 senses of the way. And he basically tries to take down Jeremy Renner's character.
And the entire mob.
Which is a bad idea. But Jeremy Renner plays a mayor of New Jersey in this. I almost forgot to mention that Christian Bale, he's married to Jennifer Lawrence, and she plays Rosalind, and they have a kid.
Yeah.
And Melvin, how'd you feel about this movie?
First of all, because we did mention David O. Russell at the start, I would like to mention that in The Fighter, he had Christian Bale and Amy Adams, and then in Silver Linings Playbook, he had Jennifer Lawrence, Bobby De Niro, and Bradley Cooper. So he has this affinity for working with actors again that he likes, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's good because then they know what he wants, and I think it brings out better performances. So now that's out of the way. That shit. Yeah, that shit out of the way. The overall film is good. It's solid. The story will keep you on your toes because it's a fairly long film. It's about it's about 220, I think. And at no point, even though me and Rakesh needed to pee, did we leave. About an hour in, me and Rakesh really needed to pee, and we were like, it's going to be hard, but we stuck it out pretty well. And that was because the movie was so capturing that we could not afford to miss a scene. At no point was I bored. At no point was I like, did I let my mind wander off or something, you know? It kept me engaged.
2 hours and 30 minutes.
2 hours, 30
It's
minutes?
a 138-minute running time.
That's 2:20. That's
It
2
is?
hours, 18.
Okay, my math is off. Damn calculator. My bad. Go on.
Yeah. But there's something I want to ask you.
Mhm.
I've been thinking about the story points in this. You know how Sydney and
Irving?
Irving had that small time con? What they would do is they would ask for $5,000,
Yeah.
and that they said that they might be able to get you a big bank loan approved, because apparently interest rates were bad in America at that time. Now, essentially they'd say, give us 5,000, you know, and we'll see what we can do. But it was non-refundable. You can't say shit about it. And that was the con, you know. Obviously, they didn't have any bank connections. They never get you a loan. They just keep you $5,000.
Yeah.
But I didn't like the fact that they had zero backlash from that. Not even a single angry man coming up saying, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't have massive face changes. One, obviously, Sydney had the English accent she put on.
Yeah.
But she still looks the same.
Mm.
Irving still looks the same. I'm surprised they had zero backlash from that at any point in the story. That really kind of pissed me off a bit.
Especially because it's like their demographic of people that they were reaching to were people at their most desperate moment.
Yeah.
That's why they're forking over the $5,000.
Yeah.
And I would have honestly liked to have seen more of the hustle to see that play out.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way that that way can go the way it did. How do you feel about the actors in this?
The actors were amazing. The women especially.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing I really like about David Russell, he has some really strong female performances come out from his characters. You know, you have Amy Adams in The Fighters. And if you remember The Fighter, he had the sisters. All from the Boston Sisters. And that was just incredibly powerful women. Same thing in Silver Linings Playbook. You have Jennifer Lawrence playing an incredibly powerful woman. And that's something I really like, because everyone focuses on the males, you know? It's like, oh, okay, Irving must be the main con man. But instead, you give you a good focus on Sydney, Amy Adams' character, and how much she affects the con, and the fact that she is actually a little bit smarter than Irving in most cases.
It's not only a little bit, it's majority of the time. Like,
Yeah.
she even says, like, this is what I'm gonna do, this is my plan, this is how we're gonna do it. And he's like, oh, goddamn, she's smart, she's smart.
Irving has, like, small ideas, and she just expands the crap out of it.
Yeah.
So, Amy Adams, amazing. Hopefully she gets nominated for an Academy Award. Same thing with Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence, she's a different type of amazing in this film.
Yeah.
She plays a little bit more crazy aside. Not as crazy as you see in Silver Linings Playbook.
Yeah.
Definitely, like, if crazy was on its own.
Yeah, it's kind of like Stupid Sense. She does stupid things, but then she just kind of has a way of backing it up with some kind of sense. It's like, oh, she destroys an oven. It's like, oh, the oven's dangerous, you know?
Yeah.
Do you know what kind of radiation it emits? You're trying to kill that kid?
Yeah,
you know?
from the microwave stuff, yeah.
And the thing is that Jennifer Lawrence is actually quite young. You know?
Oh, yeah, she's...
And she pulls off such a mature performance, you know, alongside actors like Amy Adams and freaking Christian Bale. When you see her and Christian Bale side to side, you would think, what's this giant-ass man doing with a child?
Yeah,
But
she's 23 years
he's
old.
23 years old, and he's in his 40s.
He's in his 40s, yeah.
But for some reason, she just makes it fit so well. It seems like they're both just, like, right there at 30,
Yeah.
which is amazing. Now, how'd you feel about the men?
Alright, now, like...
All of them.
All of them. Okay, they delivered their performances. Of course, actually, quick correction, Christian Bale is 39 at the moment. He's about to turn 40. But yeah, Christian Bale, again...
See, if you watch this movie, you'll see why we thought he was 40.
Yeah. Again, he does what he does. He transforms his body yet again. He puts on 48 pounds of fat.
Shit.
Just for this film, for this role, and this guy has tremendous dedication to each of his roles. Bradley Cooper, I enjoyed him again. This is another good performance by him. Jeremy Renner, I really... it's sad because I never get to see too much of Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
Like, even in that Bourne film, he felt like an existential character. There wasn't any real development with him. This one, it feels like there is development with him, and I got to see a side of Jeremy Renner that I usually never get to see, which was really good. What surprised me was Louis C.K.
Yeah.
He's in that dark comedy humor.
That
Anybody watches-
self-deprecating humor.
Yeah. So anybody who watches Louis knows his humor. And so it was just a little bit of a shock to me to see how much he gets bullied around, but it's like, I know Louis' style of humor.
And this works so perfectly with it.
It does. And it throws you off for a bit. Those guys do an amazing performance. The ladies, they do another amazing performance. I love how Amy Adams dresses in this film, man. Always wearing low cut. You see side boob all the time. But as Melvin said earlier, this movie has a lot of accolades so far. It's being nominated for a whole bunch of stuff. Alliance of Films for Women, it's been nominated for that. So there's something. Like,
yeah.
you
Like
don't
I
get to-
said, strong
yeah.
female characters, dude.
Yeah. Now, how do you feel about the first half of this film compared to the second half of the film? Because with the first half, I felt like it kind of felt like a Martin Scorsese film. Like at the start, the guy talking over, kind of Goodfellas vibe.
Mm.
And it's like, all right, they're in the present time. They're going back in time. Then they're going, then it's back to the present time. Then it's then going in forward. And it's like, and it has the monologue going over, and it has different people's monologue.
Yeah.
It's not just one person's monologue. It starts off with Christian Bale, then has Christian Bale and Amy Adams. Then has Christian Bale, Amy Adams, and Bradley Cooper. It has all three of them then narrating over it. That first half, it didn't feel like the other two David O. Russell films that I've seen, but I kind of felt like that first half was more established than the second half. What about you? Did you prefer the second half of this film?
Well, here's the thing. The way I see it is it goes from a really stable idea into utter madness.
Which is supposed to...
And that's the way I feel like that's the narration goes as well. Because, like, you have the stable opinion of one head, You have one mind showing you how things get done.
Yeah.
And then when all these other minds come into it, you see the utter chaos that ensues,
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to make their own plans work. And it's just causing utter madness. The one thing I would like to mention is the men's performances.
Mm-hmm.
Christian Bale is always solid. The one thing I like about Bradley Cooper, he's at that stage in his life where he can have all those leading man roles. He could go off, do an action film, like he could do the next Saving the President film, because they're fucking coming out like crazy.
Yeah.
But he chose to do a supporting actor role that's on the negative and mentally unstable side.
Oh, yeah.
And I really like that, because that shows what a great actor he is. And I agree with you entirely on Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
Because usually he plays quiet roles,
Yeah.
Regardless of how much action he does, his characters are usually quite quiet. We don't actually see too much dialogue from him.
No.
From The Town, from Hurt Locker. All of
Even
his
in Avengers, yeah.
in his Avengers, he has really quiet, meaningful action roles.
Mm.
Here, he is simply just talking, and he is so good at it.
Yeah.
I'm so glad he took this opportunity.
Yeah. And even though it may be like a supporting role,
Yeah,
definitely worth it. I mean, because
easily.
as a supporting role, this is the most I've seen him talk.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Like, one of my favorite performances from him was in The Town.
Mm.
And I think this one just may have a little bit more talking in it. I'm not entirely too sure. Don't call me if I'm bullshitting out of my ass.
I'm pretty sure you are, because even Ben Affleck was quiet in The Town.
Yeah. Now, the end of this film, it really does become like at the start when Amy Adams and Christian Bale are caught. They're like, all right, we're gonna have to hustle this FBI guy.
Yeah.
And then they end up getting caught in their own hustle.
Because the FBI guy starts thinking too big. He wants to take down too many people.
Yeah, and Amy Adams actually falls in love with Bradley Cooper, and they totally forget about it. And then at the end, it does play a cool little Ocean's 11 vibe to it.
Yeah.
Where they do this big hustle, this big con, and you can really see Christian Bale's like really remorseful for what he did to Jeremy Renner, and he doesn't dare to find Bobby De Niro.
Yeah.
So on that aspect, this film really works, and I really also enjoyed the camera on this, the camera work that was done for this. Not too much offhand shaky cam. I don't think I really saw any of that, which Melvin knows I prefer that in film. And just what an amazing supporting cast. Anything else you want to talk about, man?
Okay, I said the plot hole about how there's no backlash. I thought that would have been interesting if that came into play.
Like, especially in the second half of a film. Like,
yeah,
usually,
like that's how it usually works. Like while
Yeah.
while they're doing another con or they're doing something else,
yeah.
the backlash from the previous con comes in.
Yeah, like, I would have expected something like, there's a part where they're meeting up with the mayor, and then they're meeting up with other people.
Yeah.
And it's like, that would have been a great opportunity for someone to go, Irving, you son of a bitch, where's my money?
Yeah.
Where's my money? See? But nothing ever happens of it.
Nothing ever
I think
happens.
it's supposed to be just expected.
Mhm.
But for me, this feels like definitely a good, stable David O. Russell film.
Yeah. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the fact that Amy Adams' character, right? So she leaves Irving because, he's still too attached to his wife. He's too controlled by his wife.
Yeah.
And he's not thinking straight. And because he's too willing to run along with the FBI's guy's plan. And she heads over to Bradley Cooper. Now, Bradley Cooper thinks she's English and all that. And
Yeah.
when she says, look, I'm actually Sydney. I'm
Yeah.
a New Yorker. I'm
Yeah.
from Jersey.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck it is. And then he's like, the fuck?
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden she goes back to Christian Bale. How'd you feel about that? You don't think that's a little wavy?
No, because at that point, she was kind of manipulating him as well. She was
Yeah.
manipulating Bradley Cooper's
But
character.
the point is, when she tells Bradley Cooper who she really is, that's when she kind of that's when they show that she kind of falls for him.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a few hit and misses with Amy Adams that I did have. Like, a few scenes where I was just like, okay, we get it.
See, the amazing thing for me though is right when I look at the beginning of the film of the three main characters, which I go with Bradley Cooper, Irving, and Amy Adams Sydney.
Mm.
Irving is probably the closest to being like the sort of slightly negative guy.
Yeah.
Amy Adams, she's just making the best of a bad situation. Bradley Cooper's the good guy. He's the FBI guy.
Yeah.
He's getting shit done. And then by the end, and then even in the middle, right? Bradley Cooper and Amy Adams have this scene in a bathroom stall where they're just telling each other he likes
Yeah.
her. He doesn't want to have sex with her yet. He loves her. He just wants to.
Yeah.
He wants to wait until they're ready. And then right at the end, Bradley Cooper's forcing himself on her,
Yeah.
and luckily he gets knocked the fuck out. And she's just, she's playing as many men as she can. She's trying to make opportunities of herself.
Yeah.
And Irving is stuck. And that's when I'm like, Irving's the good guy in all this.
Yeah.
He's the guy that actually gets most of my pity. And I love the flip from beginning to end.
Mm.
I love the way David O. Russell just says, look, this is what I'm going to show you, these people. And by the end of it, I feel the complete opposite. I'm like, Irving is the best guy. I love this guy. I want this character to win. And I want Bradley Cooper to lose. I want Amy Adams to maybe have some damage done there.
That was an amazing point of the script. It's where, like, how you can manipulate a good guy. And, Bradley Cooper, the character of him, ends up snorting cocaine.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. However, they never make any mention of that. Like, future on, like, it's beginning to lead that he is, like, now super high all the time, super drunk all the time. And just that downplay of that character and just how twisted and evil he kind of becomes. And it's like Amy Adams is really manipulating in that sense. And I feel like it's by Irving standing back and seeing like her manipulating another person that you rarely see Irving shine by him being alone in this film.
Yeah.
I also really like...
I think appearance has a lot to play on that as well. I like the fact that he's actually a really big guy.
Yeah.
That he's kind of ugly.
Yeah.
And that kind of makes you think that he's not the good guy. He's like, he's this disgusting con man. Like,
Yeah.
why would I want to,
Yeah, and then it's even established that right at the start of the movie they have certain charm.
Yeah.
He has a certain charm about himself. One thing I would like to mention is this film is fucking funny.
Yes. It is actually a comedy drama film.
Yeah.
A comedy thriller.
Yeah, it's
So-
like black humor, would you say? Dark black humor kind of style of... Or not really. You just go dark humor.
I wouldn't even call it dark humor. I'd say the humor's pretty blatant. It's not sexual in orient, nor is it racist of any sort.
Yeah.
So I would say it's just normal.
Yeah.
It's situational, I would even say.
Yeah, like, there's a really funny part right at the start of the film. How you see Christian Bale doing his hair because, he's going bald and he's putting on a wig.
Yeah.
And you see him do that for a good minute and a bit. And then you see Bradley Cooper come up and rush his hands through his head.
And they have some good zingers as well. They have some good
do.
one-liners.
They really do.
The script is pretty well made.
Yeah, so credit where credit is due to Eric Singer and David O. Russell for that script.
Yep.
Like I said, there's a lot of funny parts in this film. A lot of parts that just and it's really going to captivate you from start to finish. This film, I don't. This is one of them rare films that really do that well. Should we get on to ratings now?
Yep.
All right, ratings time. You guys, if you don't know how we do it from 0 being the worst to 10 being the best. Melvin, what you give this?
I'm giving this film an 8.5. I started off with an 8. I'm going up to 8.5.
Yeah.
I know we've given nothing but positives for this film. You know, we've had like a few nitpicks in terms of plot.
Yeah.
And we've said the acting's amazing, the story's amazing. It's got the most Golden Globe nominations of any movie. Well, it's tied with another movie this year for the most Golden Globe nominations, which is, which obviously means it's quality and all. But the reason I give it an 8.5 is because the truth is that this film format has been done, and it has been done slightly better as well at times, While I did enjoy this film immensely, and it probably is one of the best films, easily a top 10 film of this year, easily, without a doubt. It's been done before, I've seen it done by other people, and it's been done maybe slightly better in terms of storyline. But in terms of acting, it cannot be competed with.
No, it can't.
David O. Russell has really got one of the best casts I've seen in a long time. And it's not one of those big casts that disappoint, it's one that performs really well.
I agree with you completely. I'm also going to go an 8.5 for this film. Now, you just mentioned earlier you've seen this film done before, and you've seen it done better. So when you're watching this film, there are parts that you will find predictable.
Yes.
However, it's not really predictable until like a few scenes beforehand. You can kind of go, all right, this could be how it plays out. Sometimes it does play out that way. Sometimes it doesn't play out that way. I definitely have a lot of praise for this film. 8.5 for me, 8.5 for Melvin. I'm definitely excited to see who's gonna win.
Yeah.
What on this? I mean, like
I honestly hope that Amy Adams takes something home, and same thing with Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
I haven't seen too many of the other films that have been nominated, but they are both quite clutch.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of good films coming out this year, but this one feels like it's definitely taking.
Do you think the men should take home any awards? The performances were solid, and I agree with the nominations. But do you think they should take home an award?
I would like to see. I don't know if this is personal preference, because I would like to see Christian Bale take something, mainly because of how much he transforms himself in every film he does. Yeah. However, even if he's nominated and Bradley Cooper is nominated for supporting actor, so if and Jeremy Renner, say all three of those guys are nominated, I'm happy, and at the same time, if they don't win, I'm not going to be surprised.
Yeah, same thing.
Because we're definitely towards the end of the year, in terms of the film industry, that's where you get your drama films.
Yeah.
Because,
everyone's trying to make that Oscar bid.
Yeah, everyone's trying to do that. And so this film, I can see it having nominations. However, if it doesn't win, I'm not going to be offended.
Yeah. I will be maybe a little offended if Amy Adams doesn't take some kind of recognition somewhere.
Yeah,
honestly, that was probably my favorite performance. Her and Jennifer Lawrence blew it away from me.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it's hard when you look at the male cast that was in that film. Christian Bale, Jeremy Renner, Cooper.
Bradley Cooper.
Bobby De Niro and Louis C.K. all doing strong, but two women just blew me away.
For me, Jennifer Lawrence wasn't as big in this,
It's just the diversity of the performance.
Yeah. And I'm definitely so surprised. If you see her in The Hunger Games, then you...
Yeah.
If you're one of those people who don't see a lot of films, you see her do Hunger Games, then you see her do this film, it's going to blow you away, for sure. However, I'm more of a fan of Silver Linings Playbook.
Yeah.
But yeah, youtube.com/Off the Chest Podcast. You can also go to our Facebook page, type in Off the Chest Podcast, give that the like. Plenty of stuff on there. Check it out. See you later.
Arrivederci.